Regular monthly meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lafourche, Levee will now come to order. Mr. CJ, please go lead us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, will you please call the roll?
Ronald Colley.
Here.
Clarence Marks.
Here.
Pitch Down.
Here.
Roland Curall.
Here.
Roland Guidry.
Here.
Bob Fall.
Here.
McNeely Rome.
Here.
Keith Guidry.
Here.
Monty Vegas.
Here.
Mr. President, we have one.
Okay, you've been presented with a meeting of the regular, minutes of the regular meeting of October 14th. Any correction, additions, or deletions of those minutes as presented? If not, we need a motion to approve. Moved by Max, second by Bob. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, I'm just a reminder, the LDL meeting, conference December 4th and 5th. If you haven't made your reservations, I assume all of you have.
Yes.
Just remember, sure. Audience comment, anybody here in the audience for the purpose of addressing the board? We'll move on to general managers report.
I've been talking to our engineers. This is a picture of the field in York, Katrina. After Katrina, they made some large changes in the design of flood protection systems. They changed eye-wall designs, they went T-walls or A-frame walls. They also, the intersection between levees and walls. And then they actually changed the design of levees. We have looked at the situation. I've spoken to a lot of people, did my own investigation after Katrina, and levees actually performed very well. No levee actually fell apart before water got over the top. And once water gets over the top, that's beyond design. This wall over here, before the water got over the top, it failed. And so that's a true failure. And these other things, I'll show a couple of others, but this is a true failure. This is not a levee, this is a wall. A levee is an earthen structure, okay? Now here's some embankment fabric. This was overtopping. You can tell it's overtopping. Water came over the top, destabilized the wall. Of course, you have the force of the water on here. You lose the dirt back here. It gets destabilized and got pushed out of shape. Now here's a situation where you have a levee coming into a wall, and the water came around the levee and started eroding over here. And there are a number of places that this did wear out. Yes.
Are you aware of what kind of sheet pile they had behind, underneath that wall?
The same type of sheet pile that we have.
Same length?
Well, it's the ones straight up. But yeah, some of these sheet piles were down, probably, and I just a guess, down to 27 feet, as much as that. And usually, minimum, you go 2 feet down for every 1 foot up, generally. Every place is a little bit different, so some places you need deeper sheet pile. But the issue was you had water come over the top, and the sheet pile might have been working. But once that water came over the top and started eroding the backside, you lose the real support. So you have a big force here, and then your force over here, that gets smaller and smaller until finally it takes over.
And I was wondering, I guess, could be moved out that far out rather than collapsing.
Oh, no, this is actually on the road. So to this part, I mean, this part is on here, and this is a slight movement on it, and that probably the upper part moved because of this.
Oh, it was curved like that to start
Yeah,
off, but it
yeah.
didn't, okay, that's what.
Oh, yeah, no, this is basically in place, but what I want to show here is the eroding around the hard structure to soft structure. In other words, a levee coming here. What happens, you get the force hitting, of course the water's hitting here, but then it's got more energy coming off of the wall because it's not absorbing anything. Over here, it's getting, and so it puts more where you have dirt, and then it eats it up. So we've attacked those issues. Now here's the road on the backside. Overtopping started to, now it stayed long enough, but before the storm could knock this down, it lost that height of elevation, so the wall stayed. It was in the process, had the storm stayed there another 3-4 hours, you'd have probably lost this wall. And this one again, this wall, the storm didn't stay long enough to eat up enough of the dirt here to force it over, so it survived. Of course, this one did not. Now, this is the other thing, water going over levee, you would say, man, this levee was done, dead meat. Well, this is the next day. It survived the storm, once the water went down. Now, if you notice the problems you did have, the places you did have erosion is on, because you didn't have a consistent sheet flow down, it would hit here, start swirling around, a little more energy, that's all it took to start eating up. This fence right here caused this groove over here, by not letting constant sheet flow, and then of course you get these grooves going, but it still survived. And that's the point, you can get over top it. The big issues in St. Bernard, the Mr. Gold levee, is you had 13 miles of levee. It got over top, I talked to Bob Turner, who's in charge of the building, okay? It got over top about 4 feet of water, okay, for a long time. They lost 7 miles on that 13 completely gone. But they had one of the floodgates over there. Pile supports, wooden pile supports, and you got, I didn't get it, I forgot to put the picture up here. But the levee's going on both sides, but the floodgate's standing there, okay? Now the Corps went ahead and said, okay, no more wooden pile supports for structures like floodgates. And yet it survived. There was no need to do that, but the extra fear, but that extra costs extra money, okay? And all these changes, yeah, they make it better, but if you don't need to do it, why make it more expensive? Because if you make it too expensive, you can't build it. And that's the problem that we've kind of run into. That's why I've talked to our engineers, we're gonna put a paper together to explain our philosophy. You know, our philosophy is build the best we can with the money we have and keep improving it. And it's paid off for us. We're the only ones that haven't flooded. That's part of the reason why that we haven't flooded. Here we go, this is the road. That eye wall right here, it's no longer accepted by the Corps. So what are we doing? We're coming in here and putting an A-frame wall, just like what we have in Golden Meadow, that black wall. Got A-frame. What happens is you get the force, that A-frame doesn't let that sheet go back and forth. Because it was part of that back and forth action with the water coming through the 17th Street Canal. You had the high part of the wave and then the low part of the wave. So you had force pushing, and then when the wave would go low, you had it kind of leaning back, and you get a pumping effect. And that's part of the reason why the wall went. So T-walls are strongest, but they're very, very expensive. A-frame is a good compromise. Doesn't cost as much, but you do stop that movement. And that's what we're doing. We're building an A-frame wall here. And again, you can see here's the I-beams he's putting in at an angle, and then we're going to weld beam from here to the sheet pile wall and keep it from moving around. And in this extra work we've been doing, this is north of Bullet Camp. I'm looking south right now toward the pump station. And this is all the dirt we took from that side to this side. Now it costs us about $3 a cubic yard to get it here. It'll cost us probably another $2 to turn into levee. So from Bullet Camp north, where we think we can get to close to 18 feet, and we're gonna try to get there, we're probably around 15, 16 at the most, and we'll try to get there by next hurricane season. And that'll put us almost all of the west side close to 18 feet. Now we're looking at getting a contractor out here, but we wanted to test how efficient we could be with just our equipment. And it's worked out real well. We're going right to the edge of the canal, we're digging into the water and pulling all the dirt that we pull from the other side. We're able to get it up, dry it, and we'll place it on the levee. Again, just a piece of a ramp going over the levee in C North. Again, we try to make our ramps a little bit higher because you don't want water going to a shell. It's not a good idea. So make sure it goes over the levee about a lot before it starts going over there. Again, stacking the dirt on the side and eventually moving it up. That's what we're doing throughout the area. This is there just south of Bullet Camp. We didn't have a lot of material at first, so we had raised all of this close to 18, but we didn't have this. Contractor put some new dirt here. Our guy is taking it, contractor's taking it, and moving this up to 18 feet. And this is GPS. You get accuracy to within a golf ball's height. You know, when, after Katrina, we finally got GPS, we saw our levees were 18 inches low. This ensures that our levees are at the height that they're supposed to be. The terraces are a great partnership with Ducks Unlimited, ConocoPhillips. And you have other couple of oil companies and other landowners involved. The National Fish and Wildlife Federation, it's a national group that does environmental work. And I'd say half of the open water that we've had on the west side, we now have terraces, and of course, some of the marsh that we built. The only bad place we have is just north of Boulder County, that's still wide open where the sulfur mine kind of influence, but hopefully we can get something done in there. The parish also helped with that. Again, for about just maintenance work, we had, we tell people not to spray the bank of the canal, but we sprayed the bank of the canal and caused a little problem, so put the sheet pile and fixed it. This drink, we talked about this before. We used to have some pipes that went, this is right near the Apache dock. Okay, this is on the inside, and this kind of caved in. There was, the Corps had put some culverts connecting the two borrow canals. And I think this is just a failure of the culvert, so we're gonna have to get in there, fill this up, and check it out there.
So it's filled already.
You did? Okay, I just took that one 10 days ago.
Yeah.
Good. Again, just the levee, good maintenance, good grass cover. Water going over a good grass levee is gonna last a good fair amount of time. There have been some studies done, and we work real hard trying to get it. We don't have it good everywhere. Some places it's tough if you continue to work on grassing everything. This is the southern part of the system. This is the gate that we put on LA1, just completed. And finished levee, got it looking real good. This is the loop T-wall. This is something I never thought would happen. The loop T-wall, now this is a T-wall. So there's two sheet pile down a platform, and then this wall's on top of that platform. That's up to 17 feet. We were building levees to 10 feet, you know. We were stretching to get it to 13, and now we've gotten it over 17 feet. And there's a wall connecting between this concrete wall and the sheet pile wall that connects to the levee. We went back and just fortified that wall by putting more material over there. We've talked to Luke the whole time we were designing and doing all this work. So again, making the little improvements, like I tell our guys all the time, if we lose the levee, I want it lost is we've got miles of levee getting over the top of our water. We don't want to have this like happened in Yards where a couple of holes floods the whole system. You know, if we're going to lose, we're going to lose because there's no way to do anything. So we pay attention to the small spots also. That's again the inside view of the loop T wall. And the crane finally. Finally. It only took us 25 years to get it. But the good thing, our workers, look, they moved these engines, they moved the gear heads, and it was really dangerous. And those guys took their time and they got it done. We kept this going. But our guys came in, we moved the exhaust down, so now this can come and grab what we need to grab and take it out. So, you know, we can continue being safer. It's going to be a lot easier to be safer now that we have this. So, it took a long time, but it came out good. This is some mitigation work that's being done for the Section K levee. This is right at the corner of the Apache Farm, Defense Farm, and our levee system. They're making containment, and then they get a pump from Joe Piciolo's Douglas. They get a pump his canals and fill this in.
You're not pumping from his Douglas, we're filling in his Douglas. That's not the same thing.
It's a lot worse. I got a friend of mine got a duck pond near Chapel Basin, and his duck pond turned into a deer and pig hunting place now. Well, he got filled in. But they're doing this. Now we've got so much good marsh over here. I always felt that we could just start pumping in here, and it would probably fill in pretty well. But still, this is going on, and this project will be probably finished. When is that, Stephen?
That'll be finished in March.
Yeah.
February, March next year.
And this should work out great. We're gonna have that corner, we start to open water, we're gonna have a really nice marsh protecting the corner of the levee. Yeah, here, this one goes to our levee, and this one goes to the Apache Farm levee, the one that was just improved. And this is it. That's the little levee, I think it's 10 feet, I think,
I think they ended up with 9.
9. And nice little levee, but again, we think, you know, a little bit overkill in the way it was designed. Could
They
be
refer to it as a little levee. I remember a little levee, a big levee, a big few.
That's right.
I understand a little levee.
It's all relative, you know. Yeah, I was just thinking, you know, we talked about Barry, you know, it made 6-foot storm surge compared to 17-foot levee, you know. But 20 years ago, Barry would have made a scramble around.
What's the pickets or indicators?
Okay, that's all, the Corps used to do this. They come in at the settlement place. You come in here and you put the dirt and you see how much, you know, you pay for the dirt to get to them, you pay for when it settles to by that distance, okay? And now we gotta come in and we gotta cut every one of those spots. You gotta cut it 2 or 3 feet deep because the land continues to sink. And the grass starts to grow and then all of a sudden, boom.
Lawnmower.
You know, 3 or 4 years later, your bush hog is totally
Yeah.
messed up because the ground settled down. We stopped doing that. We believe you go in here, you measure, and you give the amount of dirt that's taken out. You come fix this as you need to with a bulldozer, you know. That's the most cost-effective way. They spend a lot of time in compaction. You know, all of our levee was built, the only thing that was semi-compact were the ramps going over. Our whole levee system, you know, before we started this, since Katrina, there was no compaction, okay? And the thing is, we never had water come through the levee at all. In fact, you know, they've always worked. In fact, compaction started because you had some very stiff material in Arkansas. They were building a levee, very stiff material, it was leaving gaps in there, little air pockets. So they came up with, if you put a certain size doze of over 5 times, it's gonna close those gaps. And they said, well, why not do that everywhere, that we insure it? We got some very soft soil, you don't get air gaps in our soil. I think it's something that we need to look at, and that's something we're gonna talk about. Again, same little levee. And then, our plastic sheet pile have worked real well for us. On this project, usually we stay within 2 to 3 feet of the edge of the total levee. And we had a contractor there, and he put it out at 5 feet, 5 and 6 feet. We think the water got on both sides of it and worked it out. We had no problem anywhere else. This is the only place we had any problem on plastic sheet pile. So we're gonna make a claim to FEMA, and we think we'll get most of it.
Where that's at?
That's on east of Golden Meadow, south of Golden Meadow on the east side. Where you have that inside water, that's what they start on the pump. All right, first, on the D South, it's actually the pump station flood wall improvement. That's at the Crawfish Pond, on section D, that's a stress form. And like the other past resolutions, the award or sign the agreement with Grand Isle Shipyard Engineers for that project. The motion in that section.
GIS.
GIS.
Okay, you hear the recommendation of the general manager to award the south flood wall improvement, GIS engineering services. Moved by Rowland, second by Rowland. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Again, C-South is that area just north of pump station number 2, Bully Camp Pump Station. And that's why I showed you where we were doing a little experimental work, and Neil's trying to put an advertisement together to get a contract and get that done. East-South Phase 2 is under construction, and PCO is going to talk about that. And we're excited about that because that's one of the low areas for our flood insurance issue. It's a little bit low, and we'll get that done by next hurricane season. Camp Dolly request, we have submitted for $12 million, mostly for that lock. But we do have some money already lined up on that thing, so hopefully we'll get some help on that. Golden Meadow Pump Station flood wall. Okay,
Is that the same?
oh no, this is different. This is Golden Meadow Pump Station flood wall. This is the flood wall that you have behind the high school or the junior high, I should say. You know, we want to get that, I say 18 feet, but we're gonna have to do some engineering to see if we can get that high. We'll go as high as we can. Right now, it's right around 14 feet. And I'd like to be able to go ahead and allow the president to sign any and all documents to get that work accomplished.
Okay, we've made a recommendation about general matters, your wishes, moved by Max, seconded by Bonnie. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Okay, the land program, that's the program that says before you needed to have a core authorized system before they would put the levee on the map that determined the flood insurance. Congress said, no, we don't think, if you have a levee, you should take a look at it, see if it does any good. So this is the land program. We are part of the land program. There's 25 entities throughout the country. There are 5 in Louisiana. Lafourche and Terrebonne are in that. And this is the map. So the contract is Dewberry Davis. They've been working for the FEMA for a long, long time. And they went ahead and said the 100-year storm would push 14 feet. Here's the Lockheed Golden Meadow, all right? Here's the Crawfish Pond area. They think a 14-foot storm surge, that's the 100-year storm. It's 14 feet over here, 13, they show 14 over here, 13, 9. And actually, that fits pretty well what our design had been working for. 13 feet over here, that's why we're a little bit low. That's why that work that Roland's gonna do to bring us to about 14 and a half over here, and we're a little low over here. But what they're showing here is if we didn't have a levee, you'd have to build 11 feet inside. This is the cutoff on the bank of the body. You'd have to build a plus 12 over here, a plus 9 in the rows, 11, 10, 12. Okay, because we have the levee. Yeah, that's what was happening way back in the 70s when they were threatening our area, and because the system had the levee building, we held back on it. And in 1989, we asked for a letter of map revision that actually we wrote and gave it to the parish, because the parish is in charge of the flood insurance program. We wrote it and it said, the Brooks Amendment said if it's 50% complete, 60% cost spent, and 100% authorized, you get the benefits of the system. So when they did that, they dropped all the elevations from this to 2.5, 3, 3.5, and we've been living on that. Now, the reason we have those elevations, they're saying that the 100-year storm that we have kept it out by the hurricane levee, but we never had a rainfall study on the 100-year rainfall, and that's what these people did. The 100-year rainfall is a 14-inch rainfall in 24 hours, okay? And they assume 1 inch gets absorbed by the ground, and then our pump system can move 5 inches. So then what's left, and that's what this study shows. Here's a cutoff, here's a Clovelly Road right here. Here's the corner of Clovelly. And what's interesting about it is they show these 4 and 3s. Those are actually the elevation of the ground. The highest we have forced people to build with the flood insurance program is 3 feet. But here people are already at 3. And they're showing that the rainfall sitting there. What's interesting is in the back areas, they're showing -2, -1. That a rainfall is not going to pond any higher. The land over here might be -4. They're saying that heavy rainfall would flood it up to 2 feet. That 2 feet is at a -2 foot elevation, because the dirt is at -4. So it's going to pond back here, but they don't show any ponding over here. That's all real good. Now people can comfortably build it at 2.5 and 3 feet if we can keep that elevation and people keep building at that. Every foot they're above the base flood, you get a reduction in your flood rate. Okay, so that's the benefit of having this study done, if we can keep these elevations at this height. But then this is just a study; it's not completed yet. It has not for public use, but this is the latest science that we have, and if FEMA accepts it, this is not a bad map for us. It's pretty good for flood insurance. Again, not guaranteed, but it's moving in the right direction. Well, we got a letter, Jerome Cantrell, originally from Galliana, living in Lockport, with the Terrebonne Soil and Water Conservation District. I asked Jerome, I said, Jerome, how you like living up there in Lockport? He says, it's nice, but the people are different. It's 10 miles away. Yeah. But he complimenting us on the work. It's not too often they get compliments, man. get a lot of criticism, not many compliment, but, Jerome sent a letter for us. On-call work schedule, we have a volunteer system right now, and we're kind of wearing out the guys a little bit, and so we're looking at different things to try and make it work for them. So we try to help our guys out, and we'll try to figure out the best way it is for everybody, you know. Because we work 24/7, I like that rainfall, we had 4 inches one day and another 2 inches. So we have one guy on call, so he starts the pumps, all right? But then when the rain really starts coming down, now we're running all the pumps, and we have to operate the floodgate. We pull out 4 guys now out working, okay, 24/7. So those 4 working, we could pull out another 4 guys to work 24/7, and we have a work day sometimes. So it's not an easy thing. It's a lot of work when it's like it's not a bad job when you don't have to work real hard and we have to pull everybody out. But we get strained once in a while, and kind of strained on call, so we're gonna work out and look at trying to improve the system if we can. Rose Luck, an engineering agreement with PCO and Associates. So like the board give the president the right to sign an agreement for engineering for the Rose Luck.
Okay, with recommendation by the general manager to allow me to sign the agreement for the engineering for the Rose Rock. Your wishes, moved by Mitch, second by Matt. Any discussion? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
All right, and we have a truck that we put out for bid, the minimum bid $800, we got 1 bid, minimum bid $800, so we feel to approve that sale.
1,092.
2092.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I read it all, well, good. You're making money because you paid attention.
Okay, we need to approve this, right? The general manager, we got recommendation, we approve the bid of $1,092 for a surplus pickup, Dodge pickup, no wishes. Moved by Rhoda, second by CJ. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
All right, well, we put a letter of thanks, a letter of thanks to ConocoPhillips. They've worked with, well, it's
It's time of the year, guys. It's time of the year.
and we got a lot now, you know, I mean, you know, we had, like I said, we had only 6 feet of storm surge this year, so things went well. But ConocoPhillips has worked close with us in setting up those environmental projects and those terraces where they help protect the total levee, and we don't have to spend time and money. They've also gone ahead and given us the right of way for a job that we're doing at the Section D, the Sweat Farm. There's a low area that we need to work on, and they gave us the right of way, and, you know, we have to work real hard on that. Some of the past people didn't give it to us, these guys are giving it to us, so getting good cooperation from them, and they're doing a good job. And going back, you know, LL&E, they bought LL&E. LL&E had most of the property on the west side. And at first they made us pay, and then we went back and we got another agreement, they paid us back the money and donated all the right of way. And in those days, we had no tax money coming in. And we actually lived on the donation of the property. Now 30% of the cost of some of these projects was totally done by the donation of the property that the Corps gave us credit for. So all the donations were a big help. And still, that last piece of that big job that we did, that we got the lawsuit on, there was still a number of people who donated the right of way. And so, I mean, those guys are heroes, so we gotta be real thankful to them. And when we finish this whole thing with the lawsuit, we're gonna do a little something for those people, and thank you. Paper, some type of certificate, because it makes all the difference in the world. Also, putting together a resolution for Ed Pro. Ed, which are DOTD with their flood section, worked real close with us. We had a lot of faith in him, and he had a lot of faith in us. After Katrina hit, a lot of guys in Baton Rouge were running around their heads coming off. Ed was steady, got stuff done, and we worked with him a lot. And so we put a resolution together, and hopefully at the meeting, they'll read it, and we'll give a copy to the client. We are gonna go ahead, you saw the sheet pile damage, and we're gonna, just to let you know, we're gonna get some quotes on that, and then get a low quote for the work done on that.
Okay. Any questions of the general manager? We will go into the engineering report. CPRA, I see Daniel's not here. Nothing new in this. Corps of Engineers, as usual, no one's here. Project Engineers, it's your sources. And
So the first project is the elevation and realignment of Highway 1 at the Lee, Ontario, Lock and River Meadow. This project is complete. We're currently in the lien period. Also, we're in discussions with the contractor about the final balancing change order and more importantly, the stipulated damages in the contract. They were 69 days past the contract time in completing the work. We have agreed to give them 8 days due to Hurricane Barry and some other work that was added on. So we're still discussing the 61 days that we feel they should be charged for liquidated damages, and they're disagreeing.
It's $1,000
It's
a day.
$1,000 a day, so $61,000. They were claiming that it was weather-related, but the facts don't agree with that. There was several gaps in their schedule. One of them was a 27-day delay when they were waiting on a subcontractor to come in and drive piling.
So that's a coordination issue.
Yeah, that's
Getting
a coordination
yeah.
issue, definitely. They were working on some ancillary items, but they weren't working on the controlling work item, which was the sheet pile and that. So that was a 27-day delay. Then when the contractor or the subcontractor did arrive on site, it took him probably about 2 weeks longer than it really should have. They did not begin fabrication of the gate, the most important feature of the project. Did not start fabrication on that until a week prior to the expiration of the contract time. Okay. So most important feature, didn't start fabrication until a week prior to contract time expiring. Okay, so in our opinion, there's no real explanation or justification for granting 61 days of contract time due to weather. It was more poor planning rather than weather delays. So that's our stance. I thought they may be here today they wanted to come from the board, but
Yeah, they did.
they did not come today.
They called me and met one time with the workers, and I think the owner called me and invited him here. I told him, you know, this is what we have this time, we expect all the contractors, the subcontractors bid a certain amount of money to make sure the stuff is done on time. And it is an issue, we wanted that floodgate there for hurricane season, because the money was there, it was designed, and there was enough time to get it done. And that was even more important, and he said, well, you weren't damaged. Well, we weren't damaged, but we could have been, because it wasn't done on time. And it was for a particular purpose, because we needed it for hurricane season to protect us from hurricanes. And so, that's where we sit with the $61,000.
Well, they have insurance and their subcontractors have insurance too, they can go too.
So
So
hopefully
your
by,
recommendation is give them how much time?
would be 8 days, 8 of the
Total of 8
69,
days.
right, and they would be charged $61,000 in liquidated damages. Hopefully by next meeting, we'll have a change order to present to you that they would agree to sign.
We'll take an action
At the next meeting, nothing this meeting, the lien period doesn't expire until the end of this month, so their final payment wouldn't be due until your next meeting. So no action needed right now, just wanted to inform y'all of what was going on.
Okay,
The LaRose floodgate improvements and protection, phase 5, steel A-frame wall and concrete iron wall. Sea level is the contractor. Right now they're working on installing the H-piles on the west side of the project. Within the next week or so, they should have a second crew come in and begin working on the east side. So within the next 2 weeks, we'll have 2 crews working, one on the west side, one on the east side of the project. They've kind of fallen a little bit behind schedule, so they hope to get caught up. So bringing in a second crew, that should allow them to do that. Right now, they're about a week behind schedule, so they can easily make that up. I'll bring in a second crew. And we have an application for payment number 4 for $196,588.25, and we recommend that be paid.
okay, you read the recommendation of engineers to pay sea level construction Application bid number 4, the amount of $196,588.25. Your wishes, moved by Mac, seconded by Ricky. Discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Levee section east-south shading and grading phase 2. Lowland Construction is the contractor. We held a pre-construction meeting. The notice to proceed is December 2nd. They're already doing some preliminary work. Should be moving in equipment this week, getting ready to start that first week of December. That's just to place the material in the levee section. We discussed earlier that levee's at about a +12 elevation, so we bring that up to a +14. That's to place the material that's stockpiled on the barn, just to put it in the levee section.
And that, does that require action on our part?
No, sir. We've already awarded, and there's no pay estimate this month. Levee section E North, levee improvements. The surveying, the plan specifications were complete. We submitted the plans and specifications to the state for approval, and we are ready to begin advertising once we receive approval from the state. I'm not sure if we've ever received approval from the board to begin.
You said north, south on there?
That's E North. This is E North.
It's just,
Decent.
south.
E North I'm talking about.
Oh, it's not on here, okay, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not on your agenda?
Yeah.
Go by my paper. E North.
Here you go now.
Yeah.
So E North.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got Woven people giving us a right of way, we've got another what we do, and we're waiting for the CPRA to give us the okay on the contract.
And then also on E North, there's a right-of-way agreement between, it's Paul Dufresne or Triple Sun Farm LLC. He has granted us, or the levee district, access to drive over his property so we can haul material in a much easier manner.
We heard that right-of-way agreement
Yes,
with
so that right-of-way agreement would
What do you
need to be approved for nothing in return, other than the restored property to its original condition.
Okay, so what you ask us to approve that right-of-way and also to approve advertising for bids on this one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in fact, why don't we just get a motion to approve all agreements for this project?
Okay, we got a recommendation of engineers and our general manager. Go ahead and take that action. Moved by Lonnie, seconded by Keith. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Levee section D South levee improvements. So we accepted bids on November 8th. SBL Construction LLC was the low bidder in the amount of $582,501.37. And we recommend awarding that project to SBL Construction LLC.
Okay, you make a recommendation of the engineers to approve the, award the low bid of $582,501.37 to SBL Construction for the Section 3D South levee improvements. No issue. Moved by CJ, seconded by Roland. Roland, you will. Okay, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
On this project, there are also two right-of-ways that will need to be approved. The first one is with ConocoPhillips, and the second is with Galliano Cattle Company LLC.
And we have the right-of-way.
Ray has prepared those documents. He's prepared the one for Galliano Cattle Company. ConocoPhillips is preparing the document for ConocoPhillips and Levee District.
Take action before we have the right-of-way bids?
Well,
Approve it?
we can go ahead and approve
Yeah, no.
you signing the agreements once we get legal approval.
And I did approve all the signatures for this project.
Okay, you heard the recommendation of our engineer, our attorney, that we approve these right-of-ways with everything there. Any motion? Mac? Mine? All in favor? Any Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Anything else, Eddie?
No, that's it.
That's it?
I'm
Sure.
If you want.
So last shot at it.
Very good. But I'll give you an update on A East. We were awarded that project last month. We finished with the surveying. We'll finish some drawings within the next month. Section F, we were awarded that project about a month or so. We'll finish that surveying tomorrow. We'll finish that surveying and get you a set of plans within a month on those projects. Preliminary plans on the Golden Meadow pump station within the next 2 weeks.
Any questions of Ben?
Yeah, no question. I have to find a way to bring the LSU Tigers into this. So how many records does your brother still have?
Not many.
I think
Drop it
still-
down.
I think there's one record Burrow doesn't have. I don't know if it's touchdowns today.
Career touchdowns.
Career touchdowns.
We changed.
We're not talking about LSU, man. That would maybe be the coach. They go on top.
They have me worried, Shaq.
Look, I woke up this morning and they still beat Alabama. I'm watching that game 8 times, okay? To make up for the 8.
All I got to say,
Even, yeah.
all I got to say,
I'm close.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah. That's Lord talk, man.
GIS engineering, John.
Yeah, I almost let Ben just keep on going and let him give my report too. The Lafourche water level control, about 6 weeks ago, when Wendell and I were discussing, it was about time to start writing the cord, nasty letter to get stuff. When they actually asked for more information, we provided that, about a month ago. But it's about time to start getting that information back together and start drafting another nasty letter.
My God, I'm ready. We talk about a levee, not too much bigger than this, tying into 70-foot levee with a 300-foot base. And they gotta get the signs to make sure this little levee doesn't disturb.
And it's within us.
And it's inside the system. And it's inside the system.
Inside the system, that's correct.
Well, we gotta justify their existence, I guess. Okay.
So we gotta figure out their resistance.
Yeah, hopefully and we have started the weekly emails to them asking them what the status is. And they just say the engineering department's looking at it, so we'll start again drafting that nasty letter. And hopefully that'll get it to moving.
Any questions, John? Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Angela, it's yours and you.
All right, on section B North and B South, this is from the base on pump station to Golden Meadow Park. That contractor, Concentrating Partners, is continuing with the excavation on the project. Work is going well, and we are recommending approval of their pay request number 29 in the amount of $159,516.27.
Engineers have requested that we approve pay request number 29 to Concentrating Partners for $159,516.27. Your wishes. Moved by Roland, second by Keith. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Okay, on the C-South levee improvement, this is from the base on pump station north of Apache Farm. This project is complete. RLB Contracting was the contractor on the project. We're recommending approval of his final pay request, number 23, in the amount of $132,914.08. Also approval of the clearing certificate that goes along with that retainage.
Okay, gentlemen, your wishes on this, what is it, RLB?
Yes, sir.
In the amount of $132,914.08, which is pay request number 23. So it's moved by second by Mac. Block what you did.
One other issue.
Any discussion?
Yeah, there was some liquidated damage.
Yes, there is.
Just so people will know that.
Right, the actual retainage on the project was right under $313,000. They did have 180 days of liquidated damages at $1,000 a day. So there was a deduct of $180,000 for the district, which brings the balance of his final retainage instead of the $313,000 to $132,000.
Thank you.
Okay, with that addition, I need your motion, move second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Okay, and lastly, Morganza to the Gulf Reach L. We're finalizing our plans and specs on this project, which is gonna go from the western side of the Apache Farm, that southwestern side, all the way out to Grand Bayou, including some work on the Bayou Bush structure. And this is gonna be based on our meetings that we had about a month ago with the levee districts and the CPRA.
Any questions, Neil? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we've got Delta Consultants. No one's here representing Mitch?
You got his thing, Steve, handle
I
it.
represent Mitch. You can't pay me to do that.
Come on now.
Get that on tape.
Y'all tight, y'all tight.
That's not bad enough. Okay, Steve, you're up.
Don't tell him this.
I'm Stevie Smith with All South, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Got two projects to report on. First one is the Reach K Hurricane Barrier, what we call a rehabilitation project. So we are working to come up with a couple of different phases of a project to do some rehab on Reach K. Some of Reach K was overtopped in Hurricane Barrier, so our project is going to include repairing some of these areas where it was overtopped, as well as shaping some of the areas that have not been shaped yet. We've just collected some surveys. We just started on this project this month. We collected some survey data, and we're working on a plan to phase this work into about 2 or 3 steps based on the type of work that we have to do. But we'll expect to have some plans on for Will to review certainly in the next 60 days on this effort. Okay. The next project that we have on our list is the mitigation for Reach K. So there's a marsh mitigation project. Again, Wendell showed some pictures of this earlier. Excuse me. The contractor's constructed some containment dikes. We had some pictures of that a second ago. Actually, I think he's finished constructing his containment dikes today or tomorrow. The way the project works is we have to let those dikes sit up for 30 days and kind of compact and settle before we'll allow him to come in and start pumping material in. So we're probably going to have a 30-day kind of no work period while these containment dikes kind of compact a little bit. And then after the 30 days, if they're still substantial enough, we're going to allow them to bring a dredge in and start dredging material and creating the marsh. Even though we joked about it earlier, I will mention to the board that the landowner requested that his lessee, who happens to be Joe, be allowed to bring his camp boat out there, and because duck season just started, so Joe has brought his camp boat out there, and he's out there hunting. Obviously not in your project site, but at the other areas that he leases out there, even though the project is going on really immediately next door. And that's kind of worked out good with what I just told y'all, just a little dike construction and then a 30-day lull before we really start dredging. So that's kind of worked out pretty good in this project. Okay.
So you have no pay request for this one?
Sir?
You have no pay request for this
We
one?
have no pay request, nothing on this.
It shows up on it, that's what I wanted. Okay, you've heard Steve, any questions of Steve?
Good deal.
Well, that's a pretty good engineer that actually comes to the meeting and don't ask for money.
Rare.
That's a rare.
A rare occurrence.
We got 2 lawyers.
You're the one that's don't ask for money, they don't show up.
Yeah. It's in the email. That's it, you won't show up.
After the engineers, usually the bar, we got a new gentleman.
Yes, sir. It's my first time reporting the meeting, so I'll introduce myself. I'm Kevin Desarn, civil engineer with Apton.
Kevin?
As far as our only project, the Grand Bayou Floodgate, it's my understanding that the IGA CPRA executed it, became effective the first of this month. So once we get the go-ahead, we do have a proposal into Mitch that he's reviewing to do the bidding phase of the contract. So once we get back, and we're ready to go.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions, Mitch?
Sir, thank you.
Okay, we want the legal permits and rights of way.
All right, this month we have 3 of them. The first one is Shell Pipeline Company, LP. The next one is Steve Gremion, and then Harvest Midstream. After reviewing these 3 permits, looking the board to approve these.
Okay, moved by the chairman of committees, Mitch, seconded by Monty, to approve those 3 permits. What wishes, gentlemen? Mac?
That's good.
Bob? All in favor, any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, Mr. Attorney, anything else? Finance committee, Monty?
Okay, the finance committee met and we approve all invoices being paid. Since Stevie didn't ask for money, we got to make the pay bills this month. Thank you, Stevie. So, board recommends we pay all bills as presented.
Okay, the recommendation of the chairman, seconded by Keith. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Any old business? Any old business? Any new business?
I've got something to announce.
You step out.
Or I don't have to. All right, Gomesa, all right, we finally started getting a share of the offshore oil, you know. Since 1995, averaged $6 billion in the federal treasury, and we got basically zero. We had the bill passed 10 years ago, that oil sharing, 37%, but it's maybe 4% of the whole bottom on there, and there's a cap. And I remember the cap's 350 or 500.
I think it was 500.
500 million? Well, there's a bill that was heard, it's called the Murkowski-Cassidy bill. And we heard, voted on tomorrow in committee. And what it's gonna do is go from 37% to 50%, take off the cap, and it's gonna increase the area that's subject to the revenue sharing part. So it's really an important bill, that can result in some really big money coming our way. And the vote's gonna be up tomorrow, and what I understand is basically probably gonna go along Republican and Democrat lines, with the Republicans voting for it, although the Democrats should vote for it because it makes sense for everybody. That's regular revenue sharing. Again, public land in other states that get revenues, they've been getting 50%, unlimited.
Yeah.
New Mexico got over $1 billion, and they get to spend on anything they want. We've limited ourselves to spending it, just like flood protection and restoration. And so we're hoping it gets through. I'm told that, you know, because it's the Senate, you have more Republicans on that side, so it should pass committee, and then after that, we'll see about if it gets to the floor. But my understanding is it's got a good chance. That's why I went to Washington a couple of weeks ago to go talk to some of these other states and some of their people. Mississippi's going to benefit, Alabama, but everybody benefits because South Louisiana is important to the entire country. They don't understand that in Washington, but we have a chance. If you know anybody on any committee, but especially any senator from somewhere else, if it does get through and get on the floor, we need to do whatever we can. It's big for us. That's all I have.
Okay, any other new business?
What they're doing for the levee now.
We need a motion, guys. Moved by Mitch, second by Mac. Any all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We are adjourned.